mean, literally, if you watch game film, this is what you see from people on our team like 2 years ago. They're across the field, literally like this, like defense, yeah.
Chatting with
Yes.
Not so much chatting at our level, they don't like that, but literally just
Pretty
yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then also, so something to tell them about, so when you're standing this way and just like on your girl, then you're gonna get a lot closer to them, you know, like, so this is really what they look like a lot, our team. They'll be standing like this and they think they're on this girl, right? But now I'm so close that it doesn't even matter what I do unless I'm like really, really quick. She's gonna beat me because I'm standing this way. But if you're down in this stance already, like that
step.
like you have to back out to be here. And so then you have that space that she's not gonna be able to do whatever she wants. And so also I've had to like show that to some of them too. Like just look at the difference. The difference between when you stand this close and then here, like I just automatically back up. Like I would never be like here, you know? Like it's just weird that way. It doesn't feel comfortable. So just telling them little things like that sometimes gets that into their mind and they're like, oh yeah, okay.
So I have a question with this stuff. How do you break like the laziness of like the ladders? Because high school girls just
Make it a competition.
even then.
Yeah.
There's always the laziness of like they don't go all the way to the cone, or they don't, they don't cut hard enough.
Yeah,
they don't.
We make them run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at our team, we set the expectation that you go here, and if you don't go here, then the whole team runs.
Okay.
And so they do that.
Yes.
They do that now. They don't not go to the cone,
Yeah.
or if we feel like they're not trying hard, like so sure maybe they're all going to the cone, but they're still like walking to the cone, you know, like.
Or they round the cone
Right.
instead of cutting hard at the cone.
Yeah.
But not that running is the answer. I've heard from a lot of coaches you shouldn't make running a punishment, so.
Right, and we do this thing, we double, if ever on the field, we double whistle, like doot doot, fast. The girls, no matter what, it can be for a punishment reason or not, they drop their sticks and they go sideline, sideline, back to their stick, and we're right back into the drill. And it's like I said, I mean, it really can be, because, I mean, today, in our game on Saturday, we would have crushed our game on Saturday if our girls would not have hit the goalie on their shots. And so every time they hit our goalie on their shots, we double whistle, just to kind of reinforce how important that stuff is. It's exactly how a game works. You hit the goalie, it turns into a clear, you're gonna run anyway. You're gonna ride. So
I think something that Maggie just said though, that is, anyway, it was important, that we also do that sometimes just to make them run because they need conditioning, because whatever we're doing isn't a lot of conditioning. Right?
rather than
more
get
like
online.
them talking. So then it's not always when they hear that whistle, they're like, oh, it's a punishment, you know? Like, so they're not always thinking that. They just realize that running is part of the game and they have to do it.
Right.
But I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that through at your level or not.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, anyway, that's what we do. And then, I'm trying to think of something that maybe wouldn't be running, but
We do a lot of push-ups.
push-ups.
And we do anything where their hands are on that muddy grass, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
You want to keep it positive and everything, and they're laughing
Yeah.
about it, but, something.
We also figure out ways to like make little competitions all the time, like all the time. We have right now for the entire spring, a 50-50 competition, just like a ground ball competition. It was driving us insane last week at practice. We were in the gym and there's like hard walls everywhere. So we're in a drill and the girls that are like in the back of the line waiting for it, a ball would be missed and it would bounce and come back into play, and everybody would just watch it until it would come back into play, and it, all of a sudden we were like, what the heck? Like, why aren't you in the back of the line? Why don't you have your stick in two hands? Why don't you go and grab that and put it back into play yourself? You know what I mean? So we made and at our level, I mean, we're generally more intense about that kind of stuff, but we made a competition. So now I carry a pad of paper around every single practice, and I have a tally mark, and it will go for the whole season. So anytime I see a player that is hustling to keep a ball alive, they get a point, and we'll do something at the end. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so maybe you could do that like
Positive
It could be a
reinforcement.
yeah, like competition of who actually touches the cone or something like that, or does.
Time them,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I feel like the more competitions we do, the lazier we get.
Really?
Like games, like we do any kind of games, it's a nightmare.
Oh, because they get like too excited about like that it's a game or something.
Yeah, then they just beg for it, and then they just like cheat, and there's arguments, it's a nightmare.
We also do, so I mean, this maybe isn't helpful for you either, but we do in the fall, we do what we call the Griffin Cup. And so we divide them into like 4 or 5 teams, and then all throughout the fall season, it's usually on Fridays that we do it at practice, but different drills will say, okay, well, this is a Griffin Cup drill, and so you can earn points for your Griffin Cup team. If you get the ground ball, or if you get a turnover, or if defense clears it, or whatever it is that we're working on in that.
they get jacked up about it.
Yeah, they do, and actually oftentimes we have injuries is what happens.
Yes. They get
At our
so-
level?
They get so amped. We played tic-tac-toe, like real tic-tac-toe, and they were, I mean, I'm so surprised we didn't have an injury that day.
Yeah.
They were annihilating each other, but it's good, like they're so, they're conditioned and they're tough and all that kind of stuff at the level we're at, so.
Yeah, and so to the tic-tac-toe, all we did was roll out a ball, and so it was a 50-50 ground ball, and then whoever got the ball got to then go get in their spot on the tic-tac-toe board.
So you have,
And so you had one
and
team.
they play a full live tic-tac-toe.
Yeah,
You make it big with cones,
Yeah.
way out there.
yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Really, really, really fun.
Yeah,
We play like little childish games like that all the time.
Yeah, we do.
Like we really
Like
do.
in a minute, you'll hear some more.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that's one.
Can you, tell me, I don't have Instagram, any chance off the top of your head, some of your ladder stuff, do you like? I don't,
Yeah.
I can research on my own.
No. That's what we're here for.
Oh yeah, we've got tons. We've got tons.
So Maggie's really the queen of this, but, so we'll do through the ladders, and they'll just do, so use, like a real basic one is just to go 2 feet in, so you go here, like this.
Starting, and we'll have them start with their right foot first.
Yeah,
Right foot each time, so they're kind of at a slight angle, and then they'll go left foot, and have them go do twice every time.
yeah, we usually do that.
Big thing with ladders though is to have them run after, like have them run off of it. There's like hardly any point in breaking down your steps if you're not gonna actually get into like a full stride after. Or have them run onto it and then break down their steps, like getting a difference,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
keep going.
So we do that one, we do, I don't even know, Maggie. We do like a million of them.
Yeah, we do a lot of time.
It's okay, they'll do,
No, this,
no, it's just because I don't even do them, I just watch, that's why I don't know.
this is one that I've been really into lately. They're in their defensive stance and they're at a 45-degree angle heading up the cone, and they're tapping in with their left foot, out with their left foot, in, out, here. With just that, obviously they're going at like 3 times the pace. And then they come on this side and they're at, it's hard for them, they'll wanna completely flatten out and do it this way. You can do all of these backwards too. Have them get in their defensive stance and then go backwards through them all. That's really great. These like heel booties are not really helping me. But have them stay at a 45-degree angle in that one. It's really great for their footwork. The Icky shuffle is always a great one.
Yeah.
You know what the Icky shuffle?
Uh-huh.
Yep, 2 in, 1 out, 2 in, 1 out. You can get really creative with those ones and have them pause too. So here and then hold, and then quick through the middle and hold, quick through the middle and hold. I'll do a ton of that stuff in really all of them on their way out. So say we're doing a key shuffle or whatever it is, they're coming in here. This is the start of their sprint. So I'll like have them hold until they're feeling really stable, and then their first 3 steps are low to the ground. Sometimes I'll stand over them, like over the edge of the ladder with a stick out like this. So literally just like this. So as they're running out of the ladder, they have to duck their head underneath, or maybe I'll come way up here. So as they're starting their sprint is low, they're pumping their arms.
Then we'll do some like switching ones, so they'll like start here and then here, like all the way through. So they're going in with both their feet, but hopping that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These are great, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Do that same thing this way. So they'll go here, here. 2 feet in, each one laterally, which forces them to keep their torso as stable as possible. This one is always so fun for them. We call this the back foot one. So this is like Icky Shuffle, but different. So they step in with 1 foot, and then they're going back and then up and in and then behind and up, in, behind, up, in, behind, up. That one's really fun. We'll do half and half. So they do half Icky Shuffle, half back foot. Let me know when you're ready. Sorry, when you're ready.
I understand what I'm ready.
Totally.
Okay.
So they'll go Icky Shuffle here, back foot on that side, Icky Shuffle to the left, back foot here on that side, and then same thing with the, like just to reinforce that Icky Shuffling, they're holding and then hard 3 steps on their, we always say on their first like 3 to 5 steps of their sprint. Their footwork should be, their actual leg movement should be here, and they're flexing their foot hard to plant, to come down. You'll see a ton of girls that want to sprint off of their toes. And if they need to plant on their full foot and have it right underneath their body on their first couple steps of their sprint.
And
Flexing their foot is a big thing.
we are videotaping this too, so then we're gonna post on YouTube. So you'll be able to like,
Kind of video.
since luckily we've been demonstrating.
Yeah.
So then you'll get to see, anyway, so you can watch that too.
Great actor.
Okay, so communication is another huge part of defense. And I feel like one of the things that gets missed a lot is goalies. They they need to be your number 1 communicator. And I feel like a lot of times goalies don't even realize that. Or they're like, oh, well, sure, I say where the ball is. But they have to do so much more than say where the ball is. Like, they're the ones that are like basically telling everybody on the field what to do, like on the defense. Like, they're telling you that you're the help, you're the slide, you gotta go, crash, whatever it is that's happening. They're so key to a really good defense that I feel like that's something that gets missed a lot, because everyone's like, well, of course, well, the goalie, they just have to say where the ball is. Well, there's way more to it than that.
Yeah.
They do need to say where the ball is, that's true, because they can see it a lot better, but you look like you're gonna say
Oh, yeah, I was just to say that for goalies, a lot of the times I think we put so much emphasis on the goalies as it's their duty to everyone else. But if you can put the emphasis equally on that, it is incredibly important. They know what is going on also.
Yeah.
Like, they know balls up here. It's easy for feeds to be happening and for goalies to, the younger you go, the harder it is to follow the ball. So if they start to see that stuff, it will help them to understand their positioning, where a feed might come from. If a help comes, a slide comes, all of a sudden they start to recognize and like up here understand, slide comes, this person might be open. I might need to move this way in half a second. They just start to understand the game a little bit more conceptually. So yes, it is for their defense, so their defense can start to can tune into that and say, okay, yes, Katie's telling me that I'm the help, for sure, but also for the goalie themselves. It's equally important.
Do you guys do anything like off drill just with goalies for communication? Do you have any? Because our goalie's new, so Sierra left, so our goalie's new, so it'll be her first year varsity, and having her, she understands the communication and where she needs to go, but sometimes her being super vocal about things isn't the easiest.
So actually 2 of these drills these are team focused though, but these are both just with communication. Well, not only communication, but so we play blind dodgeball in the center circle. And we'll just make them take their pennies off, and that's what they use as their blindfold. And so half the team is blindfolded and the other half is helping. So they have like someone that helps them, I don't know what they call it, anyway. Someone that their teammates.
Dodge and ball.
Yeah, handler.
Yeah.
They all have a handler.
Mhm.
And so they can't see anything, but they've got to communicate with each other to let them know that you got to move over this way or duck or like, anyway, it's also hilarious to watch.
It is
It
so
is
funny.
amazing to watch, but it's really key with the communication because you have to be listening, you have to be paying attention, and you have to be like willing to trust your teammates too. So like that's also a big deal. Is a lot of times maybe with the new goalie they might not trust her yet, like because
Right.
Savage was was the last goalie,
Yep.
and so it might take them a little while. But this is something. So that's the whole team, like doing that. So maybe giving her the opportunity to be partners with like I don't know, maybe someone who's a really good defensive player on your team that is also like like kind of like a good leader out there. Maybe giving her the opportunity to play with her at this might help too. There's this other game that we've done called Animal Farm, and I can let Maggie explain it to you because I don't remember it exactly.
I'm sure, I would think you guys maybe played it, I don't know. Your girls for sure have if they've gone to any like camp or anything in the state. If I feel like it happens at every single camp. But you have your girls spread out along the center circle and then you go up and you whisper an animal in their ear and you say, so it can be donkey, cat, dog,
Cow.
yes, cow, exactly. And then you say, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And you obviously repeat your animals. So there are, X amount of dogs, X amount of cats, X amount of donkeys or whatever. They get down and they close their eyes and they make their noise and they have to listen and find their people based on the noises. So you find all of the barking people and that is your group. And they can listen and it's really, really hard for them not to open their eyes, so you can have them put their headband or their penny or something like that. A really, really funny way to, like another funny thing to do in there is to like make someone, just one person, or just like a couple people, like one or maybe two, just some random animal. We've always done that, so we'll be like, you're a dragon. And it's just the one, and they're like, and they're just the lone dragon, or like the lone, I don't know, owl or something. It's really funny. But that's a great one as far as listening. That's a huge thing for defensive communication.
Yeah.
You can talk and talk and talk and talk, but if you don't have anybody that's listening to you.
Yeah. But I forgot, so the very first thing that I was going to mention is that like in almost every drill that we do, we try to make sure that they're talking. So even if it's just, line drills, they're saying, like they're calling out each other's names, like saying that, like I'm open, like whatever it is that they're doing. So that just translates everywhere on the field, not just if we're doing defensive drill. In all of our drills, we try to make sure that they're communicating with each other on both ends of the field. And that I believe that this we're talking about, like, so then specifically on defense, it's really like a conversation that you're having with your teammates, right? So you're saying, I have ball, I'm on your help right, and then you're listening to that and then you're making adjustments as a defender. So I don't know if we're gonna talk about this later, but we on our team, on defense, we force to help. So we don't tell them always to force out. If the help is to the left and that's the middle of the 8, then that's where we want them to force. So that's kind of our idea that we do. And so they're always looking to force to help. So they have to listen to their teammates to be able to do that effectively. So that's kind of like what we're talking about. With our goalies actually right now, we have fairly young goalies also this year. And so just the other day at practice, Anna, who isn't here right now, but she's one of our other coaches, I asked her to just stand, when we were playing 7-on-7, I asked her to stand near the goalie, and I told the goalie, I just want you to listen to everything that she's saying. She's going to be like yelling at the defense, she's going to be saying, like, that's your slide, you should be cutting, like, and so I just had them listen to her, and then you could even have them then repeat what she's saying, right, like, or you saying, like, or he, whoever the coach is, someone just getting, because I feel like with our goalie anyway, like, she just doesn't know what to say.
Right.
You know, so she just doesn't know, so she can see what's going on.